I would like to start, just with when you invited me, you were referring to the ABCD international model of development, what is called the asset-based community development. So that is sort of a thing that's been branded around internationally. And I was looking at that and the concepts within that, and a lot of it was actually it was more a top-down approach, to everything, to say, yeah, we're doing all of this and the community will fall in and they will develop then. It is perhaps in certain, instances, it is correct. I know the UCT had a study done where they compared two townships, the one with gravel roads which were not in good shape, and another one with paved roads, similar in size and in demographics, everything else. And then after a few years, it was noticeable that the people in the paved road township were just socioeconomically better off, because they found it easier to go upwards in life. So there's perhaps a bit of truth in that, in the asset-based community development. Whatever, at the time when we were looking at that, uh, I I had a different idea about it, to say we should be talking about community-based development of assets. At first, I said community-based asset development, but the acronym became CBAD, and I didn't want it to be bad. So it's community-based development of assets. So that is a bottom-up approach, where you go to the community first, and that I actually found a connection there with the MM. He said in his way forward that they would like to deepen community involvement. And I think that also is very much in line with what Section 152, the last sub-paragraph there, sub-article there, says. Municipalities must promote community participation. So that is very much there, yes. Over the years, we've developed, and I say we, I worked with a whole lot of engineers, environmental planners, agronomists, a variety of very, very clever people. And we actually developed a development scheme which involved the community. It is and was meant really for more rural areas, not necessarily, the cities, but if you think about the eastern seaboard, a lot of it's undulating landscapes, and we foresee that we can get the rural communities to form community cooperatives. In other words, cooperate with each other in watersheds, and then build terraces, similar to you might remember the Urubamba Valley in Peru, that the Incas built about 500 years ago. So that's a very good example. There's also massive in the lowest plateau in China. They also built massive terraces there, where they employed about 1 million people in the end. So that is sort of what we were looking at, is to do that. It is also in response partially to the change in the environment as such, where we obviously there's slight temperature increases, and I believe that's a fairly natural phenomenon over many years, over many centuries. There is an increase and so there's more violent rainstorms as well. So we've had some severe floods on the eastern seaboards, over the last couple of years as well. So what can happen if you do the terracing is that you slow down the flow of water, and you start managing the water in a better way. It won't wash away all your topsoil. It won't flood your sanitation ponds, your your reticulations, with the stormwater. So, and I've identified that the Industrial Development Corporation actually provides grants to, if you can employ at least 1,000 people on a project that is for the common good. So we've identified it. I've workshopped this with a few of the business enterprises on the district level, but we haven't kicked off on a pilot as yet. But I'm very hopeful that we can do that, where we can put people to task where they can make D blocks and start building retaining walls, and that what follows from there is it's like a cascade of probabilities that can happen, including what you can plant, and then we can follow perhaps what the Eastern Tigers have been doing for many, many years. They just said build factories first. Uh, we've gone the other way. We've built houses first, and there's no factories. We have to play catch up on that one. Is to get with it and get the community involved in that. And I think that's the critical element here in getting the development going. The people must buy in. They must turn over the hand, not have it, like holding to receive, but to take the spade or the plow and start to doing some work, and that will change our whole economy in this country.